Good afternoon, Greenwin group. I am so honored to be here sharing a Greenwin Suite event with you. So my name is Sari, and I'm going to be taking you through a yoga flow. Today is the second class of our Rise and Grow series, and our classes this month are really all about honoring and acknowledging how we have grown this past year during the pandemic. This week specifically marks a year where we have had to call upon ourselves and lean on each other like never before. So it is an honor to be here with you today. For today's practice, you will need a blanket, and I'm going to use 2 blocks. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to use them, but they're going to be there for you if you would like to use them. So I'm going to give you a few moments to make your way to your mat, and we'll get started in about 30 seconds. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So take a moment to settle yourself, allowing the crown of the head to lift as you make your way into a seated position that allows you to feel some steadiness, that allows you to feel some ease. And as you find your seat, just let your hands relax somewhere on your lap to help ground you. And as you close your eyes, take a moment to just acknowledge and honor the time that you've carved out here to replenish yourself in every way. And let's do that with a breath together. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. In this past year, we have all been challenged in one way or another. We've all experienced great sadness, grief. We've all had to rise up, and really the world has just tested so many parts of us. And we've all grown in one way or another. Take a breath, an acknowledgement and celebration of how you've expanded, how you've had to rise up. Full breath in and full breath out. Bring one hand to your heart, just flat on top of the heart, and then the other hand on top. Feel how your heart has expanded, the kindness that you've extended, that you've received. And take another breath in. And exhale here. And hands release and open up your eyes. I hope that you enjoy this class today. So just notice the way that you are sitting and ask yourself to change that up. So let's switch the cross of our legs here. Bringing your hands right here. You're going to take a deep breath in. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind your back. Gaze out over the right shoulder and just take a few deep breaths here as you open up into this twist. That's it. Lifting the chest up, lifting your breath up, lifting your spirits up, just by showing up. Good. And then slowly coming back to center, hands right in front of the shins. Inhale, sending your chest forward. And then exhale, round through the back, chin into the chest. Twice more like that. Inhale. And exhale, round. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale and round. Inhale, lift up through the top of the head. And then exhale, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the back. Take your gaze out over the left shoulder. That's it. Hang there for a moment. I'm just going to adjust something on my screen. Good. Perfect. Okay. One more breath right here. So good. Come back through center, hands right in front of the shins. Inhale, send the chest forward. And then exhale, round through the back, chin to the chest. 2 more like that. Inhaling, opening up. Exhale, pull back and round. Last time, inhale, lift up and lengthen. And then exhale, round through the back. Good. Sitting up tall again, switch your legs out. Okay, so fingertips are going to come down right next to you. And if the fingertips don't just rest comfortably down onto the mat, this is where you can take your blocks or take your books. Full breath in. And then exhale, just drop the chin into the chest and allow your right ear to drop towards the right shoulder. You can release your hand down. And just breathing into that left side body, specifically your neck. Now stay here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, right hand just gently rests on top or at the side of your head, left side of the head. But it's just a gentle rest. You're not pressing. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, slowly releasing the right hand down. And then from here, drop the chin to the chest. Left ear goes towards that left shoulder, just softening here. Good. You can even inch your left hand out a little bit. Breathing deep. Take another inhale. And exhale. Good. Left hand here, just to the side of the head. Right hand down, just for a little bit more of an opening. Really nice. Stay with me. Good. And then as you release your hand and lift your head up, come on over hands and knees. Just going to move your blanket off to the side. You can move your props to the side. We don't need them yet. Palms underneath the shoulders and knees under the hips. Just find a few cat-cows, just opening up through the chest as you look up. And then exhale, pressing into the fingertips, rounding through the back, chin to chest. Few more like that. Inhaling, opening. Exhale, round. 2 more like that. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding. So growing your back body all the way up to the sky. Last one. Melt your chest through the arms, lifting through the hips, and then exhale, round. From here, let's curl the toes under, and we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So let's just start to bend one knee at a time, just walking out your dog, just finding a few breaths here, staying with it. That's it. Take 2 more breaths here. I'm just going to adjust one more thing on my screen so you guys could see me a bit better. That's it. Perfect. Okay. So from your downward facing dog, you're going to take a full breath in and out. Start to walk your hands all the way back to your toes. From here, bring the hands to the shins, lift and lengthen the chest. So front of the body pulls in, little bend in the knees, fold into your legs. Let's try that again with one difference. Inhale, hands to the shins as you look forward. And then this time, bend the knees, fingertips down, turn the toes out, and squat deep. So we call this a malasana. And I want you to pull your chest right through the legs. start to bring your palms together. Now, a few options here. You can keep your hips up, your heels may lift. You could also perhaps take a prop underneath your butt and just work to lift up through the chest. So we're just opening up through the back body, through the hamstrings, through the low back. For this past year, we have been sitting more than we ever have, right? So give your back body some space to breathe. One more inhale. And exhale, fingertips down, straighten the legs, spin the toes in. And then from here, you're going to come back out to that downward facing dog. On the next inhale, you're going to roll forward towards a plank. Drop the knees. Send your chest forward with control. Bend your elbows lower down. Point the toes. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Allow the shoulder blades to draw down the back. Heart smiles open. Exhale and release. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale, the back body is working to lift and stretch the front body. Exhale and lower. From here, curl the toes under. Pass through that child's pose with the hips on the heels. And then find a downward facing dog. Breathe it in here. And out. You can keep that bend in the knees to continue to open up the low back and hamstrings if they feel tight. Take a nice walk up towards the front of your mat. So towards your hands go the feet. And as you come up to the top of the mat, we're going to do what we did at the back of our mat a moment ago. Hands to the shins, lift and lengthen the chest up halfway. And then bend the knees here. Exhale, fold. One more time with that difference before we go into the squat. Hands to the shins, crawl up the legs, lifting the chest up halfway. And then exhale, bend those knees, spin the toes out, and squat. Find that malasana. Arms move through the legs, lifting up through the chest, right? It's a lot of work to find that lift here. Again, if the heels are lifting, no big deal. We just want to find the squat where our back body can open. Stay here for a few breaths. One more. Exhale, fingertips down, lift your hips, turn the toes in, deeper bend in the knees here. And then you're going to roll all the way up to stand. Really nice. Make any adjustments, maybe take a few shoulder rolls back. And we'll meet with the toes together and the palms right at the heart center. Full breath here. And out. And then arms come down by your side. Let's flow a little bit. So inhale, arms lift up. Little bend in the knees. Exhale, we're just going to hinge at your hips, fold forward. Keep that deep bend in the knees to open up the low back. Hands crawl halfway up the legs so you can lengthen the chest. Now bend the knees deeply. Keep reaching the heart center, gaze forward. Right foot goes back to a plank. Left foot follows. Drop the knees. Send the chest forward as you bend the elbows lower down. Find that cobra pose again, just one. So reach back through the toes, inhale. Exhale and lower. Curl the toes under. Pass through those hips towards the heels and then make your way into downward dog. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. So you want to ground through the palms as those hips lift, melting your chest through the arms. Take another breath in. And another breath out, and just one more here. So let's grow the right leg all the way up. Lift it up as high as you can. As you look up to your right hand, step your right foot outside that right hand. From here, take your left foot. It's going to push, you're going to push off those back toes. Step it up outside the left hand, come back to the squat. Yes, lift the chest, right? We want to keep rising up every time we come into the squat. Lift through the crown of the head. One more breath. Exhale, fold. Straighten the legs, spin the toes in. Let the chest just pull in towards your legs. From here, this time, rise all the way up with a long spine. Palms come together. Lower the thumbs right down the center line of the body and down by your side. We're going to do that whole sequence again. Let's go. Inhale, arms lift up. Again, first soften the knees, then hinge at the hips. Pull the chest forward. Let it fold into the legs. If your hands are just dangling, then you can use the block to bring the ground to you, but take a deep bend in the knees. Again, hands crawl halfway up the legs, lengthen the chest. Front of the body pulls in nice and tight. We're halfway into our plank here. Bend the knees, plant your palms, step your left foot back, then your right foot. And then exhale, drop the knees. Chest forward, lower all the way down to the front of the body. Point the toes, inhale. Cobra. Exhale and lower. Curl the toes under. Pass through that child's pose. Take 3 breaths in our downward facing dog. Breathe here. Try to soften the neck, right? All that we've been holding up. See if we can let it go, let it ride out in our breath. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Inhale, left leg up. Giant step, left foot to the outside of your left hand. Then the right foot follows. Spin the toes out. Squat. Palms at the heart center. Last time we're going to do this, so let's hang here a little bit longer. Hopefully our low back and our hamstrings are starting to open. One more inhale. And exhale, fingertips down. Spin the toes in as the legs go to straight. And then again, inhale, let's fly the arms all the way back up. Lower the thumbs down to the heart center. Take a deep breath in and out. From here, let's take our left foot and step it to the back of the mat. So we're going to turn so our feet are parallel facing the sides of the mat. Let's interlace our fingers behind the back. Take a bend in the knees first, and then hinging at your hips, fold forward. You can go as low as you'd like. Let those arms follow. So the weight of your fist is just drawing forward. Stay with it here. Just opening up through the shoulders. One more breath. And then slowly releasing the hands. We're going to inhale. I want you to look forward towards the side of the mat. Left palm is down. Take a twist to the right. Yeah, so I've talked about this before, but twists are like rinsing the whole body of toxins. So you can think of this practice right now, this moment as you twist here, just rinsing yourself of the toxic energy and whatever is within you that does not serve you today, okay? That has not served you 1 year later. Take another breath here. Good. Exhale, right hand down. Again, inhale, lift the chest up halfway, find length. And then you're going to start to walk your hands back towards the top of the mat. So the right toes spin out towards the front. Move your left foot over to the left. Right leg bends into a 90-degree angle. Come on up into our warrior one. You can bring the palms together or keep them apart, but that front leg bends at about a 90-degree angle and really anchor into the back foot. So I like my right foot on the right side of my mat, as you can see, and my left foot on the left side of my mat. Gives my hips some space. Let's take another inhale here. Good. Exhale slowly with that back foot anchored in. Bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. your back heel, your left heel is going to come up and your left knee is going to drop down. Now, if you have any sensitivities with that left knee, you can fold over the side of the mat to give it a little bit more cushioning, or use that blanket that's handy. Now, from here, we're just going to marinate into the hips. You can walk your left foot back a little bit. That's it. We're going to add on a little, but just take it one step at a time. So some of you may be super flexy, and you may need a little bit more. So I'm going to offer that up for you. If you'd like, you can spin those right toes. You can see I just spun my right toes out to the right, just about 25, 30 degrees. And then I'm going to come to the outer edge of my right foot. Now, a few options. You can stay lifted here on your palms. Some of you might want to come down to the forearms. Some of you might press into the left palm, and then you're going to bring your right palm to the inside of your right thigh and just gently press away. Notice I'm nowhere near my knee. Our knees don't like that. So just press your right thigh away. So you decide. We're here for another few breaths, right? So notice if you're waiting, right? I feel like the energy of waiting is something that we all struggle with, right? Waiting for our lives to get back to normal, waiting for the next thing, the next opening. So, here in yoga, it's all about practicing being present with what is. Let's stay here 2 more breaths. And so right now, in this pose in particular, it's intense. 1 more inhale. Beautiful. Slowly coming all the way up. Okay. Now, take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Recurl the back toes under, lift your back knee. Last pose here. Left palm down, take a twist to the right. So it's just a twisted lunge here. That's it. Opening up through the chest. 1 more breath. So good. Exhale, right hand down, step it all the way back to your downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Roll forward to your plank. Drop the knees, lower the chest all the way down. You're going to come onto your forearms. We call this Sphinx pose. So if you have low back issues and this is not comfortable for you, then just come down. Stack your palms, just bring your chin down. Alternatively, just hang here. Lift up through the chest. So there's not a lot of gross movement happening, meaning no big movements, but lifting up through the chest. You can pull the head back a little bit and feel as if you can draw those elbows back, like you're pulling your palms back. Take another breath in. And another breath out. Exhale, slowly release. Palms come under the shoulders. Press back to a child's pose. Let the hips rest on the heels for 2 breaths. Allow the third eye, that space between your eyebrows, just to relax down. And then come back to your downward facing dog. And breathe in. And out. So we've had to jump through hoops this year, right? This past year, doing things that are super uncomfortable. So in honor of that, we're going to take 1 little jump to the top of the mat before we do that whole sequence on the other side. So we're going to inhale, lift up to the tippy toes. You're going to look forward, bend the knees like we did when we were in that squat, and then take a little hop to the top of the mat. Good. Hands to the shins. Lift and lengthen the chest up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. Good. And then lower your thumbs down to the heart center. From here, let's take our right foot out towards the other side of the mat, back of the mat, And then our feet again, they're parallel, toes pointing towards the side. Okay, so hands to the hips this time. Inhale, let's lengthen the chest. Again, soften the knees. Exhale, hinge at the hips. And one thing I just want to say, it's really common when we're folding forward to kind of press our butt back. Might feel really good, but try to keep the hips over the ankles. Little bend in the knees. And then use your core to pull the chest forward. Instead of dramatically pressing the hips back, go forward. Go forward. Good. Hands come all the way down. Fingertips down. Inhale, lift and lengthen the chest up halfway. We've done this numerous times in the flow. Two options. You can grab hold of your shins or your ankles or big toes with your peace fingers. Fold your upper body into your lower body. Let the head go. So if you have your ankles or your shins or your big toes, take your elbows wide. I'll turn so you can see. Crown of the head just drops down. Keep lifting through the hips. Again, I have a soft bend in my knees and I think about my hips going north. One more inhale. And exhale. Fingertips down. Inhale. Lift the chest up halfway. Exhale. Right palm or right fingertips remain down. Let's take a twist to the left. That's it. Heart center opens this way now. So we've had to open up our hearts in so many different ways this past year. Extending kindness, generosity, right? And maybe nothing material, maybe just of our time, just of our energy. Good, and then exhale, releasing your left hand. Inhale, again, look up to lengthen. You're gonna spin those left toes back to the top of the mat. Move your right foot over to the right. Bend that front leg. And then you're gonna lift all the way back up. We're in a warrior one on the left side. So my right foot's on the right side of the mat, left foot's on the left side. And we're lifting strong here. Good, breathe in. And out. Good. Stay with it. These are strong standing poses. Right? And we've had to build our resilience this year. We've had to build strength, inner strength. Right? Just by showing up, right? Nothing that we've had to do specifically. But it's just organically been building. One more breath here. Exhale, upper body goes forward to the inside of your left foot. My right heel is going to lift up and I'm going to drop my right knee. So again, any sensitivities that you have in your knees, always prop them up so there's no weight on the knees. Our knees don't like that. So make sure that your left foot can walk out to the left. So just widening so the hips have some space just to soften, find their way here. A few more breaths. That's it. And then I'm going to layer something in if you want more, right? So this is great to hang into for another 5 breaths. Otherwise, you can spin those left toes out to the left. Maybe come to the knife edge of the left foot. Maybe come onto the forearms. Go gingerly, okay? Don't force your body into anything. Right? If you go into the breath, really find that flow of breath, then you may surprise yourself. Last option, and I'm just going to show you here, is to bring the left hand, just gently pressing left thigh away. Spinning your chest up. That's it. A few more breaths here. Almost understanding sequence. You got it. Okay. So both hands down, walking your hands back now as they frame the left foot. Your back toes curl under, back knee lifts, right palm down, spin the chest to the left. Take that twisted lunge. Crown of the head reaching forward, right heel pushes back. So long as that left hand lifts. Breathing deep for one more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down. Find your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Hopefully the body is responding and receiving these poses now. Inhale, slowly roll forward, drop the knees, and then again, bend the elbows lower down to the front of the body with control. Okay, so come back into that Sphinx pose. We're going to do another heart opener. I'm going to give you lots of options. So if this pose was just enough on that last round, then we're going to be here again, okay? If it's not your pose, understandably so, it can be intense. Just come down and you can just knock your knees side to side, just neutralizing any sensitivities that you might have in your low back. If you like to go a little bit deeper, we're going to come into bow pose. And there's a lot of different elements to it. And I'm going to try to cue it as simplistically as I can. So if you're going to come into bow pose, it's a great big front body opener, right? Huge heart opener. So we're going to bend the knees here, right? This might be where you stay. In your Sphinx pose, might be where you stay. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you're going to reach back with your right hand. Maybe you grab hold of the top of the right foot or ankle, and then left hand goes back. Now, I want you to feel the belly button press down. Start to find your lowest rib as you lift up through the heart. And as I press back my feet into my hands, I want to try to look up. And I lift my thighs up off of the mat and hold it here. Another 3. Breathe in deep. 2. And 1. Slowly releasing. I know it was not an easy pose. This year has not been easy. Good. Bend the knees, knock the knees side to side. Right, and then the moment passes. Right, the moment passes. Palms under the shoulders. Find a child's pose here. You're going to take your hands and just bring your forehead back down to the mat. Make fists with your hands and just lightly tap out your low back. Good. And then slowly we're going to lift all the way back up. Grab your blanket again. You may need your blocks too. And bring your blanket to the center of the mat. And we're going to take our legs wide apart. Sitting up nice and tall. So we've done a lot of opening, a lot of extension through the body. Okay, so we're going to work on folding it just to counterbalance all the movements, okay? So just like we started with that twist when we were in cross legs, we're going to do the same twist, but now our legs are open. And so we're opening up the inner thighs and the groin area. Left fingertips out in front of the left thigh, and right hand is to the outside, or left hand to the inside of your right thigh, right fingertips behind you. Lots of lefts and rights here. Good. Gaze over the right shoulder, flexing through the feet, sitting up as tall as you can. So the blanket helps you to sit up tall. One more breath. So as you come back through center, you may need your block for this, okay? I'll just take it a little bit at a time. So elevated on the blanket, it's helping us to sit up tall. This is a really challenging pose for lots of people. Challenging for me too. You can Another option here is to also take blocks under your legs here, just to let those hips relax, and maybe you'll find some movement forward. Alternatively, maybe you raise the floor up to you, all right? Any height, so your hands can ground down, lift up, and maybe you just press your hands or your block out in front of you an inch, right? So inch by inch, breath by breath, flex your feet, pose by pose. We just take it one thing, one moment at a time, right? Because that's all we can do. We get real caught up with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and when will this happen? When will that happen? We're all are guilty of it. And yet this is the moment. This is the next moment, right here. The next breath, the next pose, the next day. This is it. Walk your hands all the way back up. Same thing. Left hand to the outside of your left thigh, right hand to the inside, and just twist here. Flexing through the feet. Sitting up tall. Find the breath. Notice if it's hard to breathe in the twist, right? That's the challenge. Sometimes it's not the actual physical movement, but it's more finding the breath. One more. Good. And then come back to center. Let's go forward one more time. Sometimes we can gain a little more. So as the chest goes forward, the thigh bones are actually rolling out. So take your time as you come down, any amount. So what I ask though is that you don't go chest first, okay? I want you to hinge at the hips, just like we did in our standing wide-legged forward fold, right? Maybe with that bend in the knees. Any amount go forward, right? We want to take out the roundiness in our back. We all got some excess roundiness going on. So I want you to try to find some length, some lift. There's a life lesson in there. Good. Take another inhale. And breath out. Walk your hands back, chest lifts. Bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs, bend the knees, and then draw your legs in. So good. Okay, let's meet on our backs for the last few moments of class here, okay? And so hopefully you have a block or something handy because we're going to elevate our hips. So as you lower down onto your back, you're going to grab your firmer prop. Knees are bent. Feet are about hips distance apart. And then just start to lift your hips any amount to rest the hips onto your block, onto your support system. It's your turn to lean in. It's your turn to feel that support. So we're still getting that heart opener, that stretch. Maybe you even want to take your prop up. Arms come down by your side. Try not to nod your head left to right. Just take your gaze up to the ceiling. Maybe at this point you want to close your eyes. Just allowing that heart center to open. Right, our heart expands when we take support. When we are held as well, because we are giving someone the opportunity to be there for us. That's how I think about props in my practice. I get to lean in now. I don't have to hold it all up. So finding this balance is really important. Pressing into the feet, lifting your hips, moving your support off to the side, and then just knocking your knees side to side. Then let's hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to close with a happy baby pose. I'm going to give you lots of options. So the first one is just to let the knees just fall open. And you can just keep your hands on the shins. Next option, soles of the feet up. Maybe you grab hold of your ankles or the outer edges of your feet. And close the eyes. I'm not going to tell you this pose is not intense. It's potentially intense, right? It's a hip opener. Lots of feels here. Take another breath in. Exhale. Hug the knees in. And then take your time to set yourself up for a meaningful resting pose. So arms can come down by your side, spinning your hands up. And give yourself these few moments that we have together to replenish, to feel your efforts, and not just from today's practice. It's how you've shown up for yourself. And also note that each and every time you meet yourself in a practice like this, right, where you learn and train yourself to soften, to be with what's uncomfortable, to let go, to explore the nature of your mind, know that you are also impacting others because you are growing and rising yourself. So let yourself be here for another few moments. If you have the time and space, a quiet home, please stay. Rest longer. Witness, acknowledge, and celebrate your efforts for as long as you can, till it makes an imprint, an impression on you. And if you like to close your practice with me, start to inhale and reach your arms up and overhead, awakening yourself to this moment. Bending your knees. Roll over to one side and pause here. Honor where you've been today and beyond, and how it's brought you to this place. As you sit up and come to a comfortable position, bring your palms together. Honor how it's built your character. It's challenged and expanded our humanity individually and collectively. I want to thank you for sharing your day, your journey with me. Thank you for your presence. Namaste.